Hello everybody, welcome to another interesting modelling company pop-up live. Right, I need to go on with the model tonight because Telford is a calling. Goodness me, I keep looking at the calendar and I think to myself, oh, Telford's 8 weeks away. No, it's just over 6-ish weeks away now, so got to get on with things, folks. So what are we going to be starting tonight? It will come as no surprise that it's going to be the Tamiya Porsche 911 GT3 RS, which we featured on the Sunday service a few days ago. So got to get on with it. Now, there are some things that I should be doing with this kit which I wouldn't normally do with a model. One of which we'll come to in a second, is I'm not going to be painting it. Right, let me qualify that. I will be painting the wheel spokes, but the request has come through from the hobby company that they would like, because this kit is effectively molded in color, and in fact we did show this on Sunday, that most of the delineating parts of the bodywork are already molded in color and everything else gets taken up with the carbon fiber decals, that the hobby company would like it to be put together in a form which shows that you can build it effectively without painting, apart from obviously the wheel hubs. So this is the thing, when you are building to commissions, is sometimes you've got to build to what somebody else wants, not necessarily what I would be doing. And yeah, if I was building this for me, I would be slapping some paint on it, but them's are the orders. So that's what we'll be doing. I probably will clear coat it. In fact, the suggestion from Spencer was to clear coat the plastic beforehand, but I think I'll just be slapping decals onto the plastic and clear coating it afterwards. So like I say, not what I would do, but it's a feature of the kit that the hobby company are very keen to press home. So that's what I've got to do. We've got some comments. Here we go. Toby's. That's one thing of my friend Toby. Tony's Hobby Room. Hello. David Mummery, Nick Brown, Rob Monfee, who says hello. You feeling better now, Rob? I do hope so. Mr. Andy King says evening all. Steve Moores. John Huston. Finished my dinner. If I finished my dinner waiting, ready now with my tea. Sorry about that. No, we had some technical issues. Mike Reeves says, I would so struggle with that. Right. So shall we? Oh, we've got some new additional graphics for tonight's show, which we might drop in at some stage, but let's jump to the workbench camera. What will I be? I'm stripping this down to the basics tonight, so I'm going to be using my SMS. These are actually double-sided nippers, but they're absolutely beautiful. A Swan Morton number 3 scalpel with I think it's a 10A blade on there. Basic stuff. Some Tamiya extra thin, and my fabulous Infamy 400 grit sanding sponge, which is still the one that I bought 2 years ago. Despite the fact I've got a whole suite of them now, and I've also got, I think this is a Flory skinny sanding stick as well. That's pretty much going to be the tools that I'm going to be using tonight. We'll just have a quick look at the kit itself. So like I say, my painting is going to be limited to just those wheel arches. Everything else is just going to be the kit as it is, and then obviously we'll be putting the decals on it. So oh, actually that's a very good point. Will I Will I be masking the clear parts or not? I have to have a think about that. I'll take some feedback from you people. Might cheat a little bit there, but yes, we're going to do the wheel hubs. But everything else is decals. So, in the words of Dylan Thomas, to begin at the beginning. And we will start with the body pan down there. Right, let's nip these bits off, and then I'll come back to your comments in a second. Oh, these SMS nippers are so fabulous to work with. Like I say, they're a double-sided blade, but they work just as well as the single-sided ones. They really do slice through the plastic and leave minimal cleanup afterwards. So we'll just have a quick. I think they're so good. I can't really see where were we cleaning up from. Oh, just there. There's a little bit there. No, I've completely lost track of where those sprue attachment points were. Oh, there's one there. So we'll just go in there with the little bit with the skinny. But I'm trying to keep any of this kind of sanding to a minimum, because I don't want kind of flat areas of a model to deal with, you know, to show in its unpainted form. So, right, let's find the next part. I have, in the past, I have built a couple of models unpainted. In fact, well, obviously I did do the F-35B at the Jadlam event the other week. That was entirely unpainted, but I didn't put any decals on it. So we are looking for A13. Whoops, got tires stuck to it there. A13. Dun, 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 dun. There it is there. So how are we all on this? I've got to say, it's a little bit of a chilly Tuesday night here in Somerset. Just a tiny bit, tiny bit chilly. And I'm starving hungry, I am. So, right, let's have a look. C24 and C23 and C24. So, C23. Oh, C23 is two of them. Right, okay. So I'm just making sure. So the Tamiya illustration here doesn't show. That's a bit, I'm going to say confusing. Oh no, they've removed that for the purposes of what it was. I was looking at their instructions here. I was looking at that part, A13, but what I couldn't see on the illustration there is this kind of ledge that which is on that drawing there. So they've obviously removed it for clarity. So let's pop that one in there. I know this is, of course, this is to me. Yes, of course, these things are going to be handed. So you really can't glue them the wrong way around. Just slots in there like so. And that one slots, oops, lazy. We are going to have to deploy a bit of extra thin at the moment. Right, that's that bit done now. Oops. Sticks it to himself. Good start, JM. Right, let's have a read of some of the comments. Let's see if you lot are all behaving yourselves. I'm sure you are. Mike Reeves says, get rid of that seam down the roof, polish and clear coat it. I'm just having a look. Tony's Hobby Room says, if you are not painting, do you think there will be any issues getting the decals to stay in place? No, Tony, for the simple reason that that is a beautifully smooth and glossy finish to the plastic. Now, what I will do is I will give it a wash, just to, you know, any mold release agent on there, and also my hands as well. But no, I think, I mean, that I wish I could get glossy finishes as good as that. So I don't think there is going to be an issue with the decals sticking to the plastic. Mike's, I don't know, I'm just going to see if we can zoom in actually. Mike's comment about that seam line, it's a mold part line which we were talking about on the show on Sunday, and I don't know if you can just see it on the bonnet there, or hood as I should say. It's smack down the middle. There, you can just about see it now. I might take it out, but to be honest with you, it's one of those things that I'm gonna have a think about that. All right. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. See how the mood takes me. Yeah, well, I'm sure we've it's not like we're short of polishing sticks here, so yeah, I think we will sort that out at some stage. Just that I'm being a bit lazy at the moment. Right, so comments. Hold the floor pan back up against the sprue tree and see where the connecting points were. Oh, that's top tip. Goodness me. So glad we've got some adults watching the show tonight. That's an absolutely first-class tip. So, right, okay, so they are just in there, just there, and just at the front there. Oh, I can see them now. Again, it says a lot for just how precise these nippers are, in that they leave pretty much minimal kind of plastic, you know, scar tissue once you've snipped the parts off the sprues. Yeah, now I can actually feel that, but oh, time for a cup of tea, I think. Cheers, me dears. So, right, I think we'll get that and pop that in place. I'm just having a quick look at the. See, there are a couple of tiny little sprue tags on there. I'm just going to trim. That's my head in the way there. Sorry. Just going to trim those little bits of excess off. And what I might do is deploy one of the other grits of sanding sponge. So I'm just going to take that down on the top there a little bit. Then we're going to jump up to the 1500. Then the 2500. You can tell I've been using these for sorting out paint work and things. And then the nice shiny 4000, which effectively just polishes the plastic now. Now I do have somewhere in the drawers here, it was a nail buffing kit that I got from Poundland back in the days when almost everything in Poundland was £1, and it's pretty good. I'm just having a look around the workbench at the moment. No, it's not to hand, but I'm not going to worry about it. Simple reason that those bits that I've just sanded are hidden by that ledge. Oh no, they're not. Yes, they are. Yeah, they're hidden by that ledge anyway. So we're not going to worry about that. Yep. So that just slots in there like so. Just going to blob a bit of extra thin on there. And then just position that like so. That's what I love about the extra thin, is it just grips instantly. And yeah, it's fabulous stuff. Right, viewer comments. Andy King says, I'm good, Tar. Just got some paint on a Tamiya 72nd F35, but need to smooth it down a bit with some Trizact. It's not just for cars. And Ian Douthwaite says, last camping trip of the season, so watching in a field in Bedfordshire, must Google bottle shops in the morning. Goodness me, I haven't been camping for 10 years. Last time I went camping was, when was the last time you went camping, JM? It was 2014 down on Exmoor, Pool Bridge campsite in Exmoor. Absolutely brilliant. Really did enjoy it. Must do some camping next year, quite frankly. Right, let's get on with some modelling, shall we? So we have some sills to go down there. So B2 sunk my battleship. So I'm just again, these nippers are so good. I've lost track of where the cut was. Just a tiny amount to deal with. In fact, I'm gonna jump straight for the 2500 here. So I'm just trying to work out how this fits into place. Till I don't build cars that often. Ah, there we go. There we go. There we go. Yes, I'm with it now. All right, I'm still not happy about those. Still not happy about those tags still being visible at the bottom. So I'm just going to deploy the florey. I think these are florey. If they're not yours, Phil, I do apologise. Right, and what I am going to look for, there it is, I can see it. I can deploy one of our new graphics now because I've just got to reach over the workbench. So, lols. Right, what we've got here is this is a nail buffing kit which I got from Poundland a few years ago. Like I say, back in the days when these things were £1, and this is absolutely brilliant for modeling because, as you can see, you've got 4 sides to it. This one says file, so I'm just going to file that edge where we've just got rid of those sprue tags. Then it says buff. So we can go in there and buff that a bit. Then it says smooth. And now here's the clever bit, the bit that says shine, because this really does restore the plastic back to its original state. Right, so let's pop this. I've forgotten where I am with this now. Pop that. There we go. Just the tiniest amount just to anchor it at both ends. Then we can reinforce that a bit, be a little bit more liberal. Oops, a bit too much there. And we can do the other side. Da, 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 da. John Houston says A13 is in East London near me. Lol. East London. So my family, most of my mum's family, all come from that London. So Steve Moore says, I knew those part maps were coming useful. They do. And Andy King says, I'm glad too. Just got some paint on an F. Oh, right. I read that one already. Oh, come on, JM. Get with it. Steve Moores. Yes, very good point, Steve. He says, vote single or double-edged nippers. By and large, Steve, I always say single-edged nippers, but these double-edged ones from SMS, really, they are very precise. Really do like them. Because what I always do when I'm using these is with any of these cutters, these single-sided or double-sided nippers, is take them right up to where I want to be removing the plastic. So right like that, and then there should just be the absolute minimum. In fact, I'm just going to see if I can hold it up to the camera. There is just the you can just see the little bit of a tag there, but that really is dead easy to get rid of. So again, we'll just go in there with a sanding stick. And that's gone. I mean, this is all on the underside anyway, so nobody's really going to see it, but I like to try and follow a reasonably correct procedure, or a reasonably thorough procedure. There we go. That's got rid of those remnants. I am going to reach for the 2500 Infinity just to take that down a bit more. And then the 400, it says Quick Shine Gloss Polishing Pad. So I think this effectively does what my nail buffer thing does there. Yeah, it does actually. It's buffing it up quite nicely. That's it. Yeah, Telford. Oh my goodness me. It's always that same thing that you think, oh, there's absolute buckets of time to get things done. And yeah, it suddenly rears up in the rear view mirrors. And yeah, so what have we got to build here? Well, this has been classified as a bit of a priority to get this built for Telford. So, as like I say, is somewhat aided by the fact that I don't have to go through all that faff of painting it, quite frankly, apart from the wheel hubs, which I know is going to horrify some people, and they are going to think that it's cheating. But well, it is cheating. But as I say, needs must when you are having to build something for a commercial display. And there is a kind of like almost a kind of like the spirit of Matchbox with this kit because of it being molded in colors. So it kind of puts me back in touch with my modeling roots, so to speak. Right, let's get that right round the right way. Ah, there we go. Drops in place. It's almost like Tamiya know what they're doing. That's all going to be hidden, but again, always like to be kind of like neat and precise with this kind of work. I'm being so miserly with the extra thin there. That's better. So that's that section of the instructions done. Obviously we got that bit to add, but we'll do that a little bit later. So we can put that to one side. Now, exciting stuff, folks. We're on to stage 2 here. Now, I am hoping to get pretty much the vast majority of this kind of built this evening. Obviously not live, but yeah, I am hoping to get a lot of this done and out of the way tonight. So brake discs, rear uprights. So what are we looking for? Looking for A31. I've got to remember, A is the white sprue or runner. A31, there it is, just there. And we will need a washer. There we are. And A14, which is one of those little round caps there as well. Oh, just drops in there. I love it. So no, we'll use the liquid cement, the extra thin, how it's supposed to be done, which is get it on camera, man. So we just drop them in there like so, and touch that there. And that is that one done. So we've got some repeats to do that. So it's going to be a bit tedious for a few minutes, folks, whilst I work my way through these units. But any questions, fire them in, and we'll do our best to answer them this evening. It's like I say, when I was at the Jadlam event, good Lord, was that a month ago? I think it was. And I was building the Tamiya F35. Now the plan was that there were other things that I was going to be making that weekend. But then when Pete Binger, the very affable boss of the hobby company, came over, and he was absolutely delighted with how it was all kind of working out and how the model was going, and very politely said, "Is there a chance I can take this model back at the end of the day?" Now, my original plan was this F-35 that I was building at the Jadlam show was coming back with me, and then it was going to be painted and deckled and everything. So I'd only built the model up to certain stages of the sub-assemblies because of the need to start painting things. So I looked at the time, and I said to Pete, "Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. We can get this thing constructed by the end of the day." So again, it's quite a liberating. It's quite a liberating experience to just sit down and build something. I know from talking to the chaps at Airfix, because they do this when the test shots turn up, is they have to go into the model room and just build it as it is, as a collection of parts. So there is, like I say, there is something weirdly kind of liberating about doing that. Right, so we're up to, actually, I think the gamma is a little bit too high in OBS tonight. Just going to have a quick look at, trying to have a quick look at whether I can do something about that or not. I'll work it out. I'll work it out at the end. Work it out after the show. Just everything looks a bit washed out tonight. So right, we've got the brake discs. And this is where everything being molded in color kind of works to our advantage, because it lends the appearance that these things are in the right colors, if you get my drift. So I've lost completely. That's no, it's which way around is it, man? That way round. There we go. A31. So we're looking for C34, which is that one there. Okay, I'm just trying to work something out here. That there is a I don't know if you can see this. There is. Oh, let me zoom in. Zooms in, zooms in. We need a new graphic. There is. You can see that little cutout there, but rather oddly, there isn't. On the instructions, there isn't anything that kind of corresponds with how that really does kind of lock in. Weirdly, there is on the other side. And that is the right way round, because that's that's where we've just put that in there. Those things are pointing, those things are pointing down. That's the right way round. Right, let's just see how part A40, see how that, no, that doesn't affect it at all, because it's on the other side. Or it could be A12 has a bearing on this. This is the problem. This is when I'm sat here, I'm like most people. I've got my internal monologue going on where I'm trying to work out why I'm making a bit of a hash of things. But then when you're doing a live broadcast, your internal monologue becomes an external monologue. So I'm having to articulate what's I I don't understand why we've got that cutout there, because there's no way of aligning it anywhere, unless when the brake shoe goes on. But does that? It doesn't. Oh, read the instructions, JM. Look, it says do not cement. It doesn't matter which way it goes around. Oh, I'm just going to go in the kitchen and scrape the egg off my face, folks. Do you know what? That's classic example there of why you should always sit down and read the instructions before you start building something. And I think you should read the instructions before you go online and start doing a live build of something, because that's, oh God, what a folks paz. And yeah, that is handed. Yeah, that just locks in there like so. Yep. Right, now we've learned something tonight. And what we've learned is I should not be let anywhere near car models. No, that's the thing is, I don't build as many car models as I would like to. And again, this comes back to one of the things that we've spoken about on the show, which is get out of your comfort zone. I don't think any of us as modelers, hate to use the word grow, but you know what I mean. It's we don't kind of increase our skill or knowledge base if we're just building the same thing time and time again. And especially when it does come to cars, because there is that need to get that flawless concours finish. That's something aircraft modelers can take back to our projects. You know, it all kind of cross fertilizes, cross pollinates, and cross fertilizes. So there's a reason why I'm a gardener. In fact, we're just gonna. No, that is a sprue tag there. I thought for a moment I was going to be whipping off an important locating pin, but I'm not. And that come off there as well. That's pretty much. Nope, there are two little tags just there. Let's get them off. Right, what I'm going to do now is just leave that little bit of a gap there to drop the extra thin in, and then we can just push it shut like so. Oh, lots of fan mail turning up, he said grandly. Oh, goodness me. Oh, the boss has just turned up. Boss is underneath my feet here. Come on out. Thank you. All right, let's read some more comments here. Jim Altegott says, I missed the start. What is the kit you are building? Well, Jim, it is the Tamiya Porsche 911 GT3 RS, which we featured on the show on Sunday. And one of the things that the hobby company have asked me to do, it's a bit of a recap for those previously on the Interesting Modeling Company. But one of the things that is a feature of the kit is the fact that a lot of it is molded in color. So I have been asked to build it, put the decals on, but not to paint it. The only thing I'm going to paint is the wheel hubs, but it's going to be a representation for less experienced modelers to show them you can actually get a result without needing to paint it. So, like I say, one of the things I'm not, you see, part of me says that I really should mask and paint those windscreen parts. But then again, I'll throw it out to you people. Should I do that? Should I mask and paint the windscreen parts, or should I just keep it as au naturel as possible, save for those wheel hubs, because they definitely need to be painted to add a splash of color. So, yeah, the directive is that they want to be able to show the model off and say to customers that, yeah, that's how it's molded. So have a think about that. Hive mind, you see, that's what we need to figure out here at the moment. Right, what I'm gonna try and do is at least get down to the bottom of chapter of stage 4 then, and then I'm going to leave you all to your evenings. I'm sure you've all got better things to do on is it a Monday? No, it's a Tuesday night, Derp. A36, there it is. Actually, what I'm going to do is I am going to reach into the toolbox here, because I do have my SMS single-sided nippers as well. So just going to make sure these are the single-sided nippers. Yep. So it'd be interesting to see exactly what the difference is like, but We'll put it back onto the workshop camera in a second. Need a remote control. Let's have a look. Yeah, those, I gotta say, the single-sided ones definitely do have the edge when it comes to cleanliness of cut. There is very, very little that I can detect there. I mean, compared to some of the cutters I've used in the past, both of these SMS ones are absolutely stellar. That's right. I'm just getting rid of these. I don't know why I'm fussing about them, because they're pretty much hidden on the underside of the chassis, but neatness and everything. Yeah, the story I have often told, and guess what, folks, I'm going to tell it again, is 5 years ago. Goodness me, Derpy, 5 years ago, when we were at Telford and we were doing modeling demos, and I had Drew sat with me, and he was absolutely horrified at these cutters that I were using, because they were, well, they were just, as he put it, butcher's tools. But because they operated on the principle of squeezing the parts together and then, you know, effectively causing like a break, I'm not exaggerating when I say he almost bodily frog marched me over to a stand where I bought my pair of Despy single edge nippers. And I can remember I sat back at the stand, I started using them, and it was literally that light bulb moment of just how they sliced through the plastic. And it was just, it's like having a whole new hobby again. And the funny thing was, there were people showing up and asking about the nippers, and you're kind of explaining, these are the Despy ones, and they work on a guillotining principle. And we were just kind of like giving people bits of sprue and saying to them, well, go on then, have a chop at that. And you could almost hear the light bulb moments going off in their heads, because to them it was a revelation. And where did you get these from? Oh, that stand over there. Bop, 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 bop. And people were going off and buying them. So like I say, let's get this the right way around, man, for goodness sake. It locks in there. So like I say, Drew had been using them for a while. I was a bit slow in adopting them, but oh my goodness me, I remember I came back from Telford that year. I had my new modeling lamp, I had my cutters, and I remember sat at the workshop, at the workbench, and it's going to sound weird, everything felt new again. It was like I've got a whole new hobby here, all because I just bought, well, I bought a much better light so I could see what I was doing in the workshop, but also just having those cutters as well. And it makes what is a fairly kind of routine, some would say not tedious, but just one of those things we all have to do to get a project, get a model moving on. And it's just such a joy to use these cutters. And so mindful of the fact that they were now starting to be a little bit past their best, when I was at Telford last year, I was doing the modelling demos on the hobby company stand with Mr. Spencer Pollard of this parish, and Spence needed to go and get a new pair of cutters. So I said, well, let me know what you get. And he went off and bought, oops daisy, he went off and bought a pair of the God Hand single edged cutters. So, of course, keeping up with the Joneses, I went and did the same. And I was using those. And then in the new year, end of last year, beginning of this year, it was SMS in Australia were very kind to send us a goodie box in which were a pair of their cutters, the single-edged and the double-edged ones. So these are the ones I've been using. Like I say, compared to, I don't want to kind of desperately try not to name and shame here. I'm just looking to see what the cutters were. See, the cutters I was using, they're not on the workbench anymore, but they were just, yeah, I could see Drew's point that they really were butcher's tools. Yeah, so thanks, Drew. I do appreciate the fact that you steered me onto that. And this is, I'm just going to say, before I started using cutters, my method of getting things off the sprues would have been on a cutting mat or with a piece of hardboard and just cutting them off like that with a blade. I mean, goodness me. I used to model like that. I really can't fathom. I can fathom it out because that's the only way I knew. But like I say, we're just I will come back and read your comments in a minute, folks. I'm just going to can't even see where. Oh, there it is, there in the middle. Oh, we get to trap things in here now. So let's have a look. Right. Sorry, I should have written down which one was left and which one was right, because I have completely forgotten now. So right, no, it's the other way around. No, it's not. Oh, come on, man. Door, turn it round the other way, JM. That's more like it. And then that should then sit down and trap everything in place, in theory. It should. There's just, I can see where I've gone wrong because there are tabs that lock in there like so. That's it. That's it. It's there are little tabs that lock in there and there, and they are in place now. just double checks before he goes to apply liquid cement. No, I can see I haven't trapped that one. There we go. There we go. That's it. Luckily, there's a slot across the top there that we can do that. So right, let's have a quick read of the comments. I can have a swig of tea. Let's have a quick read of the comments. Dun, 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 dun. John Huston says, if you're painting the wheels, you may as well do the windows. Yeah, it's, I do get it, but a lot of other people saying, no, keep as is. Andy King, that's David Mummery. Andy King says, keep as per the supplied kit, in my humble opinion. The butcher's, yes, the butcher's tool, old school nippers, were a must-have at one point, still useful for cutting thicker sprue. Yep. And Keith says, Godhand nippers are worth the money, no more ping. That is, I tell you what, that was one of the things I noticed when I started using the Despy ones. The amount of parts that I was breaking on the sprues reduced to zero, because there's almost no kind of like force going through the parts. And yeah, that again, that was a revelation. Blue Streak Custom says, howdy all. Howdy, Blue Streak. Steve Moore says, you sure that wasn't last year, Jem? I'm no good asking me. I got memory problems. So right, let's get, we're down to the bottom here. Actually, I'm just going to go into the kitchen to make a fresh cup of tea, because see, I'm thinking ahead. I make pots of tea, so I will be back in literally a minute, which means we get to deploy the graphic again. So I'll see you literally in about 60 seconds. that's better. Nice fresh cup of tea. A39. That's A39. I do believe that's the road to Minehead. Double check that. Somebody will fact check that for me. But yeah, we're on to the. We're going to do a few more bits and pieces. I don't want to eat up your evening entirely, folks. And it's just coming up to, what are we up to? 10 to 9. Goodness me. Yeah, I don't think we are going to get everything, get this model built tonight, but it's something that I can dip into tomorrow in between waiting for things to print or waiting for the kettle to boil. Oh, that's good. I glued these parts down, and they've just, I clearly didn't use enough glue because they've just unglued themselves. So right, that's that bit done. So now we can add these rear dampeners. Just trying to see. Tamiya do explain how these lock into place, but I need to convince myself. Try holding it the right way around, JM. Right, I see. There is, I don't know if you can see this. Let's just see if we can get the close-up in. There is, just down there, there is a little notch that the bottom of the rear dampener locks into. So that will, yep, there we go. So I got to say, the other thing that I do like, let's get it on camera, I do like about diversifying into building cars or automobiles for our transatlantic friends is my late Uncle Roger, who was a pretty mean modeler himself. He loved his cars. He absolutely was a car fanatic. And he owned a succession of awesome cars, I seem to remember. And he loved car modeling. And when we used to go round to my maternal grandparents, actually it was an old farmhouse in Hurst, just near Twyford. 2 buildings knocked through to one. And my uncle, it sounds like I'm starting a Rush lyric there. My uncle had a country place no one knows about, but no, my uncle would be there in the living room building his car models, and I remember just being absolutely envious of the things he was able to buy and build. And he had a soft spot for Revell dragsters as well, which I keep thinking to myself, I must get round to building a Revell dragster at some stage. I know. Me being a modeler, we'll add that to the list of 101 things that we're all going to build at some stage in our lives. But rather sadly, my uncle passed away 10 years ago this year, and yeah, I really should build something, that he would have built. It'll have to be a Revell car, because he was very keen on building Revell stuff, and I think it's got to be a dragster. So yeah, well, I'll have a think about that. I'll have a word with Mr. Ian Hartup, who'll no doubt fill my mind with ideas. Right, we are going to end soon, folks, but I do want to try and get as much done tonight as I possibly can. So we have these wheel arches here, which have an incredible amount of detail molded into them. So just having a look to see which way round are we going. That way round. Yep. So A26, which is that way. I'm just going to try. I'm varying tonight. I'm using the single bladed ones and the double bladed ones just to see which ones give the neater fit. I gotta say, I think the double bladed ones do. No, I've completely forgotten where the where that was. Yep, that just locks in there like so. See, this is Mr. OCD here. There is a sprue tag, bit of a sprue tag still on that part there. It is not going to be visible on the model, and it is not going to affect the fit of any other parts, but I cannot abide seeing things like that on my models, knowing that they're there. I know that's sit down on the couch and yeah, I think that's a shortcut to therapy, that is. But yeah, all I've done is I've secured it where the location pins are, or the little notches are there. But once I've got the other one in, what I'll do is I'll run a bit of liquid cement just on the inside there. So don't worry, folks. We are going to end. What are we coming up to? 2 minutes to 9. So we are going to end in a minute. I think 90 minutes is more than enough of your Tuesday evening for me to steal off of you. And I'm starving hungry as well. So there we go. Winners all round. So again, I can't see where the oh, there it is there. I can't see where the sprue tag was. Yeah, there's one there as well. I'm going to let that sit there for a few moments. Do you know what? Suddenly goes a bit Michael Caine. I lied. I'm actually going to jump down to another section on the instructions, get that done, then you can all get out of here. So let's get that done, shall we? Front uprights. All right, I'm going to think here. That's why I've suddenly gone quiet. Takes all my energy just to figure out what the dickens I'm doing here at the moment. Yep. Okay. We'll get the front uprights done, and then that's it. You can all vacate the premises. So let's have a look. A33, which I also think is the road down to Minehead. I'm not entirely sure which one it is. Somebody look that up for me. I'm sure it's the A38. Right. Camera. Yeah, Telford. Oh my goodness me, that is sneaking up on us again, isn't it? And hopefully we will be doing modeling demos there again this year for the hobby company, whom we thank incidentally for this, for getting us a sample of this Porsche. I know there's going to be car modelers out there who are spitting feathers that this dullard from Dudley, who builds aircraft and tanks, is building a pretty kind of like neat new release, automobile release, and he's not even painting it. Incroyable. In fact, there we go, new graphic, incroyable. So yeah, sorry about that, car chaps and chapesses. Like I say, needs must. I was going to ask Mr. Ian Hartup if he wanted to build this one, but the requirement to build it, like I say, sans paint, and I think the hobby company wanted something to look at fairly quickly. It would have taken a few days to get the kit down to Ian, and so I do apologise, Ian. He's far more qualified to build these things than I am, but as I say, unless we build things out of our comfort zones, how do we, I don't want to say grow as modelers because that sounds a bit pretentious, but how do we develop as modelers? Otherwise we'll just be building, same old, same old. Right, I am looking for parts 25. A25 is just there. Right, let's play catch up on the comments, shall we? Blue Streak Custom says, how's everyone doing today? What are you building? I am building the new and soon to be released Tamiya Porsche 911 GT3, excuse me, RS in 24 scale. But with a twist, excuse me, drink some tea, man, for goodness sake. The twist is that the importers, the hobby company, because they want to show off the fact that the kit is molded in appropriate colors, have asked me to build it pretty much as is and just apply the decals. The only bit of color I am going to do is the wheel hubs. We're going to spray them in red, but that's the kit I'm working on at the moment. So yeah, not how I would personally build a model, but I'm not building this for me. I'm building this for somebody else. So, and I've also got Chris, the great Chris Ellis. He who authored How to Go Plastic Modeling, perhaps the greatest modeling book ever, in my opinion, had a massive influence on me. So much so that I actually ended up writing my own version 14 years ago when Conway said, would you like to write the Airfix book of scale modeling? Yes, please, I said. And then they managed to get Chris to write the intro, which was an incredible honor. Oh my goodness me. Yeah, so yeah, How to Go Plastic Modeling. So when I started secondary school, you know, a couple of years ago, 46 years ago. Oh, almost time for another incroyable there. Yeah, 46 years ago. First thing I did was headed into the school library, because obviously I'm a bit of a geek, and had a look in their hobbies section, and there were two modeling books in there, would you believe? One was one of the Airfix magazine guides, which was the kind of like the basic one on, you know, how to build models, which I borrowed, and the other one was How to Go Plastic Modeling by Chris Ellis. Oh my goodness me, what a revelation that book was. Got to bear in mind that my exposure to modeling journalism, articles, influences, very limited, you know, limited to if we could get hold of a magazine. Yeah, fine, but no, couldn't always get hold of model magazines. So to have a book which went into absolute detail on how to build models, yeah, it essentially it essentially showed up everything I was doing wrong as a 10-year-old back then, and absolutely loved that book, so much so that I took it out of the library pretty much, I think it was either the first or second week of me starting secondary school in 1978, and the library got it back. I had to return it. I just kept renewing and renewing and renewing, and it eventually got returned on my last day at school when I left the sixth form in 1985. So for 7 solid years, that book never saw another lender. And I was I was devastated to have to give that book back. But hopefully it influenced somebody else in the process. But yeah, I eventually got my own copy. In fact, I've got several copies, including the same edition that I had at school. And like I say, I was very lucky to be asked to write, you know, a slightly modern version. So, but it was kind of like, it was a case of all I was doing was mirroring what Chris had done, but just kind of updating it with new things and whatnot, which is what I said to him, and he was very gracious about it. So And I would like to write a sequel because when we were writing that, we were slightly limited to the fact that it had to be pitched to a slightly less experienced audience because you were teaching them the basics. And in fact, one rather sniffy review said something about, well, there's nothing in here that I'm going to learn from. And I thought, well, yeah, it's not aimed at you, anyway. But I would love to write a sequel at some stage because there were so many kind of advanced projects that I wanted to do, start talking about airbrushing, lots and lots and lots of things which kind of move the skill sets along a bit more. So hopefully one day I would still like to do that. So any publishers out there, yeah, I'm your man. So right, I think we're on to the last bit now, last bit for tonight. Then we can all go and have some tea and I can go and watch some Futurama. No, don't get rid of those. Those little pins there are needed. So we can finally do this section of the kit, and then that. Oh, actually, I haven't done C16. Oh. Yep, C16 is there. So I'm just having a look at the instructions here, and I'm trying to work out where. Oh, right. Okay. So there are two. I was trying to work out C16, and they lock into that. I'm trying to figure out how. Ah, right. It's on the underside. Yep. Would have been better to me. It would have been better if you'd have actually shown that illustration upside down so that we can actually see the locating holes. So there we go. Whoops. Oh, for goodness sake. Making a right mess of this, you are, boy. Right. Oh, we got there in the end. It's always the last little bits. All right, let's get you out. So I've gone quiet because I'm trying to concentrate on where these go. So they just lock in like so, do they? Yes, they do. Yep, so I'm just making sure those are aligned correctly. Right, last bit for tonight, and then we can all go and have our supper. So we have these. Goodness me, this does look a little bit tricksy, but so that's locked in there like so. And that locks in there like so. And then we've got these. Normally I would wait a few minutes for things to dry a little bit more, but excuse me. All right, you don't glue them in, but they should. They should snap in there. Right, what we're going to do is I think, usually when something snaps in place, Tamiya have a rather handy little thing that says snap, but these clearly will. No, there we go. That's a nice snap there. It's because I've only just glued them in place. I didn't want to kind of force the issue, but I'll just drop them in like so, and then there we go. There we go. So that's pretty much we haven't done that bit there yet. Yeah, it might help if we had that in place first of all, because that's important, that is. Feels as though that's not, just feels as though that's not sitting perfectly, but it is. It's just, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's weird that's just, that is just a weird impression that it didn't quite bed in place there, but it is. So like I say, we've got these bits here, and we're just going to run a little bit around the edge there, letting capillary action do the job for us, and we'll just do a bit there. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is that for the night. We have got the body pan done of the Porsche, so that's that job done. So now we can go and have some supper. Supper's ready. Almost sounds like a song, doesn't it? Fingers crossed, we'll update you on the Facebook page with photographs as this progresses as well. Would like to try and do another pop-up live. We'll see how the scheduling goes. With a little bit of luck, we'll be back on Sunday for the Sunday service. John Huston says, looking good. I often build Aldi Airfix special offers just to relax, no painting, just assembling. Oh, interesting that. Keith says, thanks for a great evening stream. And Damien Mullen says, going well there, JM. And Blue Street Custom says, thanks for doing the live stream as well. No, it's a pleasure, folks. Honestly, it nails me into the workshop to actually get on with things. Otherwise, I'll be kind of messing around with guitars or be watching television, or so yeah, it's good. It makes me do modeling stuff. Anyway, on that note, it just remains for me to say thank you for watching. It's very gracious of you. We will do updates of this project on the page, and if we can do another pop-up live, we'll see what we can do. If not, we will see you on Sunday for the Sunday service. So until then, thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay out of trouble, and we'll see you very, very soon. So bye for now.